What's up guys, Cryonik here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what the best weapon in Turf War is. So, before we start, I just want to say a few things that these weapons are my opinion of what I like to use, and if the weapon you use in Turf War isn't on the list, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad weapon. These are just like recommendations of what I like. I've also tried to have a variety of different types of weapons on the list, so if you use any of the weapons that are on this list, make sure to click the like button, and if you don't, tell me in the comment section what weapons you do use in a Turf War. Lastly, before we begin, I will have a card in the top right of the video to a poll of which mode I should do next, so between the 4 ranked modes, so whichever gets the most votes, that's what the next video in this series will be. With all of that being said, in no particular order, here are some of the best weapons to use in Turf War. So starting off, we're kind of cheating a bit because it's more than one weapon, but the entire series of arrow sprays, all 3 of them, they just cover turf like really fast, and they can really quickly charge the special, and all their specials are like really good at covering turf as well. Because you got Booyah Bomb, there's a Baller one, and Curling Bomb Launcher, which is really good because it's spreading. You can spread turf in like so many different directions. So all 3 of those are really good choices if you're wanting to get a lot of turf inked and also just cause some mayhem in the stage. Next up, we have the classic Splat Roller. This weapon, it's relatively balanced because, I mean, it is the original Splat Roller, so it doesn't have too much of one feature. There's different types of Splat Rollers with like the Flingza, the Carbon, that all like specialize in one certain part or one certain thing that the roller can do. But the normal Splat Roller just inks at a good pace, and it's really satisfying when you splat somebody by rolling over them. Its sub and special is also good for getting extra turf, especially since the splashdown just got buffed in the most recent patch. So there's a couple of new ways to kill with the splashdown, especially from up above. So that's why the Splat Roller would be a good weapon to use. Next we have the NZAP 83, the Sheldon's Pick NZAP. All 3 of the NZAPs work pretty good, but I chose the 83 because of the sub and special it has is really helpful. So the NZAP, it fires quickly and it's pretty straight, so it's easy to kill and cover turf with, which is good. And the Sprinkler and Inkstorm can cover just some extra turf, like you can just throw a Sprinkler, throw an Inkstorm, and then you can just continue going about inking the stage. So you can pretty much ink turf like from all over the stage at the same time if you use your sub and special right. Moving on, we have the Bamboozler 14 MK3. That is a very long name, and I know there's a Bamboozler on this list, but it charges pretty fast and inks fast, so if you just like repeatedly fire while walking sideways, that can ink quite a lot. And because it's a Bamboozler, it isn't so good at killing, but it does have fizzy bombs that can cause a distraction and maybe sometimes get a kill, and it also has bubble blowers which you can use to block and push back your opponents. So even though it's not good at killing, there are some ways to get around that with the weapon, but overall it's pretty good. Next is my main weapon that I use in Turf War, which is the Splat Dualies, because they got a good fire rate and pretty good range, and dodge rolls help for inking turf or when you're trying to escape enemy fire, so that's pretty helpful. And then the Tena missiles can push back enemies or like just kind of distract them for a few seconds and possibly get a bit of turf inked. After that, we have the Trislosher Noveo. I've never known how to say that, but it's the second version of the Trislosher, and just sloshing around, it inks and spreads turf pretty quickly if you just continue sloshing, and it's pretty good at getting splats, especially with the Splat Bomb it has as its sub, and Inkstorm, again, for just covering turf and kind of just being annoying to the enemy. So of all the sloshers, I would recommend Trislosher Noveo. I still don't know how to say that, but that's probably the best one for Turf War. Next up we have the Squeezer, which is a bit slow compared to the other weapons on the list, but it does have a pretty good range and pretty high damage, so you can just get some kills, and it goes at a good pace for inking turf, and you can use the Splat Bomb and Bubbles to, again, drive away your opponents, so the slower weapons tend to have good summon specials to counteract their disadvantages, which is really helpful, so that way you can still continue turfing without getting splatted. Next up we have the custom dually squelchers, which are really annoying to go up against in a match, but they're actually pretty good when you use them, because they got really high range, and it has low damage, but since it fires really fast, it can rack up damage pretty quick and kill opponents. And it has a really fast dodge roll, so basically, once you're done dodge rolling on the second dodge roll, you're basically already walking around again, so it's really helpful in fast-paced turf war, so that's why I would recommend the custom dually squelchers. Next up is kind of another cheat. It's two weapons, but they're the same pretty much, is the Splat Shot Jr. and the custom Splat Shot Jr. They both have a really fast fire rate and can charge up their special pretty fast. Since they have a thick ink tank, they can just continue inking for quite a while. The first one has ink armor, which is good for charging in, and has splat bombs as distractions. Ink Storm is good for just being annoying on the custom Splat Shot Jr. And I believe that one also has auto bombs, if I'm correct. So, you know, you can throw an Ink Storm and then throw an auto bomb, and maybe if you position the auto bomb correctly, you could keep your enemy into the Ink Storm and possibly get them splatted, which would be pretty cool. And for the last weapon on this list, we have the Zinc Mini Splatling. It's the fastest charging Splatling, I'm pretty sure, and it charges really fast for inking lots of turf, but with that being said, it also doesn't last as long, so you gotta charge it up pretty often. But it has the curling bomb to move around faster, so you aren't just always walking around with the Splatling. If you really need to get away fast, you have that curling bomb to swim through. For its special, it has Ink Storm for getting extra turf and keeping opponents at bay. But those are my recommendations of good weapons to use in turf war. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, make sure to join my Discord server. It will be in the description, as well as my Twitter. It's just a good place to talk with other people, and I'm in there most of the time too, so you can talk with me as well. But with all of that being said, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!